I'm a good driver, guys. How I failed my driving test 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Don't forget to click that subscribe button once you've left. Alright guys, so as you guys can see from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about how I failed my driving test 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then 4th time lucky I got the actual driver's license. So yeah, let's get right into it. I have always wanted to get my driver's license. It's always been one of those like achievements that I've always wanted to achieve, and I never actually knew that it would have been the most difficult thing ever. Like, guys, I struggled so much to get my driver's license, and mind you, getting my learner's license was like the easiest thing ever, because you obviously just read a book, you study the book, you write the test, and you pass, you know. So for me that was quite easy, but actually getting onto the road and driving was the most difficult part for me, because I always, you know, when you imagine yourself that, okay, no, I'm gonna just get into the car, I'm gonna balance the accelerator and the clutch, and I'm just gonna go. But little do you know that it's not only about balancing. There is so much that you need to know in order to drive, you know. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about my driving story and how I managed to eventually get my driver's license. So yes, so I'm just gonna give you a few tips on how you can go about taking your driver's test so that you make sure that you are a winner with your driver's license card, you know. So yes, I got my driver's license last year in June, so June 2019, and prior to that I had gotten my learner's license in 2016 after I matriculated. No, I'm lying. I got my learner's license before my final matric exams. So learner's license, you know, you're happy, you're just like, yes, it's time for me to get into driving. I'm gonna start my driving lessons immediately and I'm just gonna go for it, you know. By the time I get like to first year, I'm gonna have my driver's license. That was literally me. Little did I know that it was gonna take me 3 whole years just to get it. I only started my actual driving lessons in 2018. So you can imagine now, I got my driver's license, the momentum was here, and then after that it just went and it just fell. For me, it was just like, okay, what's the big deal about having a driver's license? But at the back of my mind, I still had that, I want to get my driver's license, I want to get it, you know. So basically, I started my driving lessons in 2018 and it was great. The driving school that I went to, they were really good, you know, but I still had this fear. I was so scared of being in the car, driving with other people on the road, you know. So I had this fear and I didn't know how to get over this fear. So then I stopped my lessons because obviously my package finished. I had taken 10 lessons because prior to that, I did have somewhat knowledge of being in a car. So I knew about the accelerator, the brake and the clutch. I knew that you needed to release the clutch slowly when you accelerate, you know, clutch in, brake. I knew all of that stuff because I'd done it before with my mom. So she was just like, 10 lessons and that's it, you should be fine because you know how to move in a car. Oh, guys, moving in a car, you have to like mentally prepare yourself to drive. Until this day, I still have to mentally, I love driving, guys, I really do, don't get me wrong, but I literally have to mentally prepare myself for getting into the car and being on the road with other people. Okay, so I did my lessons and then I stopped because my 10 lessons obviously finished. And then I just, yeah, you know, when you're just like, okay, whatever. And then in December of that year, I decided, you know, I'm going back into this, let's do it. And I found a driving school at home, so I didn't do it with the same driving school that I had the first time, because I study in Bloemfontein and I live in Cape Town. So at that time I was going to be in Cape Town, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be home for like a month, so let me do this, you know, before I go back to Bloem in 2019. I am going to have my driver's license. Wow. Wow, such lies that I tell myself, guys, like, yo. Anyway, long story short, I did driving lessons. I think I did like 2, and then it was time for me to go back to Bloem, and I had taken 5 lessons with this driving school. So I had done 2, I had 3 more lessons left. I had to go back to Bloem, and I asked them if it would be possible for me to continue my lessons next year, and they were like, no, that's fine, you can definitely do that, you will just tell us when you get back to Cape Town. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. And then it was just such an awkward, like, I come back to Cape Town for a week and then I'm back in Bloem, so the time frame for me to be at home was just awkward. So I couldn't continue with my lessons, but I still wanted to get my driver's license. So I decided, you know what, it's fine, I'm just gonna pay for I'm gonna pay another driving school in Bloemfontein. So that's what, driving school number 3, guys, number 3, and I still haven't gotten my driver's license. It's actually quite funny now that I think about it, and now that I'm actually like speaking about my experience. But anyway, so this is now driving school number 3. I'm in Bloem full-time almost, so I decided, no, I'm getting this license whether it wants me to get it or not. I am definitely getting this driver's license. So I found a great driving school in Bloemfontein, and I will link their details down below in the description box. They are just, wow, fantastic, like the best driving school in Bloem. So I contacted them, and then I paid for 5 lessons. So I told myself that I'm going to give myself those 5 lessons to learn all the parking techniques, from alley docking to parallel parking, everything. Alright, so I went to this driving school and my instructor was amazing. He did the things, he taught me. I think lesson number 3 I knew how to park properly. I could do all of the parking properly. So now he was just like, okay, you ready, Moss? Like, let's go book. So I was like, okay, you say I'm ready, okay, let's go. So this was in April last year, and then we went to the driving testing center, and when we got there, we booked. The process was so easy. I was able to get a date for the end of April. So I was like, okay, this is great. And then I didn't tell my mom, because I thought, you know what, let me surprise her, you know. So let me do all of this, get my license, and then at the end of April I'm gonna go home because it's holidays, and I'm gonna be like, I got my license, you know. So I booked. I didn't tell my mom, and yeah, I went to go test the first time. The nerves, guys, I was so nervous. I don't think I've ever been so nervous the way I was the first time I went to go test. Yeah, you know, nerves and then going to test, sometimes it doesn't work because you get so nervous that you get to a point where you're just like, I don't know anything. You know, when you write a test, you're so nervous, and then by the time you write the test, you're just like, I don't know anything. So that was literally me on the first time when I went to go test. So I went, I tested, and I failed in the yard. If I remember correctly, I failed because I touched the pole when I was doing the parking. So obviously that is an immediate fail, and then the lady was just like, sorry, you failed. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I cried, guys. I cried like a baby, and my driving instructor was just like, it's okay, it's the first time, the next time you're gonna get it. So I was like, yes, okay. And you know, he was really comforting, and he was just like, you know what, it's okay, a lot of people fail the first time, and it's really not a train smash. What matters is that we're gonna perfect everything that you got wrong, and then we're gonna try again. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try again. So I paid for 2 more lessons. And I did those 2 lessons just to perfect everything. This maroon is actually very nice, eh? I'm like catching myself on the side, but anyway. So I paid for 2 lessons, and yeah, I did those 2 lessons and I went to go book. So mind you, my driving instructor keeps on telling me that, Kagiso, you are ready, you just need to stop panicking. You just need to get to a point where you just like, it's okay, you know how to do it, you know what you're doing, so just do it, you know. I'm a good driver, guys. But so then I went and I booked for the second time. So the second time that I booked, it was in June. I had gotten over all my, no, I'm lying. The second time that I booked was in May, end of May. And I had gotten over all my fears, and I felt that, you know what, I'm actually ready for this. And having also told my mom that I failed the first time, she was just like, it's okay, let's go. We're gonna pick yourself up. We're gonna, you know, we are gonna get it the second time round. So I went and I booked, and I was feeling much more confident, all right? And then I went and I did my test and I failed again. But this time I didn't fail because I was meant to be failed. I still, guys, I'm so bitter. I still feel like that lady failed me for no reason. That second time I was supposed to get my driver's license. But we are not there. So I failed the second time round, right? And even my driving instructor was just like, hi babes, I don't know. Like, girl, I don't know what's going on. And it's so funny because I wasn't nervous at all the second time round. So then this lady was just like, you know what, book again. You will get a date by the end of the week. I tested the Wednesday, and by the Friday you will be able to get another test date. So I was like, okay, cool. Because she even said to me that I can see that you know what you're doing. So I was just like, hey, so why are you failing me if you can see that I know what I'm doing? Like, make it make sense. So besides that, I went and I booked again, and then I managed to get a date for the Friday of the same week. And mind you, the Saturday I'm going back home. So I was just like, you know what, this Friday I have to get my driver's license. Like, I need to go back home and be like, Mom, I have my driver's license. So guys, can you imagine, I've paid how many 100 rands and 200 rands just to book and to get, like, and all of that money is not refundable. So my heart already was just like, oh, I'm losing so much money. But it's okay, I have the driver's license now. That's all that matters. So third time round, I went and I tested, and I failed again. Moment of silence, because like at that point I was so defeated. At that point when she was like, fail, I was just like, yeah, okay, there's nothing else, there's no hope. Guys, I promise you, at that point I felt like there was no hope. I felt like I'm never ever gonna get my driver's license. What was the point? I was like, this is never gonna happen. So I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried, and then I called my mom, and then she was like, you know what, you're writing your last exam tomorrow and you're gonna be coming back home, so it's okay, we'll talk about it when you get home. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got over it that Friday night, and my friends as well, they also comforted me, and like, shout out to y'all, I love y'all. But I just got to a point where I was just like, you know what, let me just give up. I'm never ever gonna get my driver's license. That is literally how I felt. Because failing 3 times, and you know, when you fail and you know what you're doing, it's the worst thing. It's literally the worst thing, failing and knowing that you know what you're doing, you know. So I just decided, it's fine, it's not meant to happen, so let me just leave it. I got back home on the Sunday morning. My mom and we had a breakfast date, and she was just like, you know, trying to pick me up again, because I was just like, yo guys, I'm not gonna get my driver's license, so let's just give up. And I said to her, I'm not gonna test again, I'm done. And then she was like, you know what, tomorrow morning we're gonna wake up, you're gonna come with me to work, and you are going to book here in Cape Town. So you're gonna book for your driver's test in Cape Town. So I was like, yeah, but I'm not up for it. And she was like, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, girl, you're gonna book for that driving test. So I was like, okay, cool. And then the Monday morning I went, I booked, and yes, I managed to get a Friday date. Like, you know what? This week Friday is the day. So imagine 4th time I'm like, this is the day I'm getting my driver's license. So guys, remember the second driving school that I had? I still had 3 lessons left with them. So I decided, you know what? In my package, it included the car for testing. So I was like, you know what? This is perfect. Now I can actually call them and I'll be able to use their car for testing. So I call them and I tell them that, listen, I have booked a date, this is my date, and I need the car. So can I finish up my lessons just to practice and polish up everything so that by Friday I am ready? And then they were like, yes, no, definitely. Okay, so I'm like, okay, on Wednesday and Thursday, so we're gonna split it up between Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday I wanted to take 2 lessons, and then the Thursday I was gonna take the last lesson. And they were like, no, that's fine. Wednesday came, hello, like, I need my lessons. Oh, your instructor's on his way. I waited the whole day for my instructor to come. Thursday, same thing, because I was like, okay, he didn't come on Wednesday, he's gonna come on Thursday. Thursday, same thing. Now I'm starting to panic because I'm like, I won't be able to test with my mom's car. Her car is way too big. It's like it's huge, guys. It's huge. So I was just like, this is not gonna happen. Kanti, my mom is forward thinking. It's like she saw that, you know what, these people, they're not gonna do justice to my child. They are not gonna give her the car. So on Friday morning, woke up very early. I was nervous. Remember the nerves from test number 1? That was literally my nerves for test number 4. So I was just like, oh, okay, I can't do this, but you know, let's go. You know, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And it was a girl that was testing before me. She managed to get her driver's license, so she saw me sitting in the car like very nervous. She came to me, she knocked on the window, and she was like, listen, it's very chilled. I'm gonna give you a rescue remedy because you look like you need it, so please just take it, because I took it and it really helped me. So I was like, yo, okay, I'm taking rescue remedies from strangers, oh my gosh. But I trusted her. You know, when you just have that feeling inside that, you know what, this girl's actually genuinely trying to help me, so I'm gonna take that rescue remedy and it's gonna help me. So I took it, and like 5 minutes I was just here. I was calm, cool and collected. I was just, it was beautiful, guys. The man that was testing me, he came, greeted me, and he was like, let's do this. I did my inspections, I went onto to do the parkings, did everything perfectly. The only thing, when I got to the hill, I started panicking, and then I managed to make it over because I revved that car. I revved it. I made sure that I rev it, and I went over nicely. And then he was like, okay, cool, put your seatbelt on, we are going onto the road. So I was like, okay, cool. Now guys, on the road, I don't know the way that they're gonna test mine, because you know, I only know the testing route in Bloemfontein. In Cape Town, I literally didn't know it, so I was quite nervous about that. But I just kept telling myself that, you know what, it's not about knowing the route, it's about knowing what you need to do when you get to a robot, when you get to a stop street, when you need to change lanes, you know, stuff like that. It's about knowing the techniques. So I decided to block off everything. I blocked off everything. I was focusing on myself and on the road and what was happening on the road. So I drove, and then I went through my route and I got back to the testing center, and this man is sitting in the car. He's busy calculating my points, and I'm just like, oh gosh, Kagiso, you failed. You got over the point, the allocated points, you failed. So I literally had prepared myself. So imagine, I failed so many times that I basically prepared myself for failing again. You know, I conditioned my mind that I was going to fail again. So then, and also because it was taking so long, it was like, I was just like, no, I failed, you know. And then eventually he gets out the car, he tells me, follow me. So I'm like, is this man not gonna tell me whether I passed or not, like, you know? And then he's like switch off the car, take out the car keys and come with me. So I get out, I lock the car, and then as we're walking, he's like, oh, please also bring the documents that you were told to bring when you test. So I was like, oh, okay. So I go back to the car, get the stuff. He goes to my mom and he's like, oh yeah, she passed. And I'm just like, oh, you, okay. I passed. So I was like, oh mom, I passed. And then that is how I got my driver's license. So you see, this is such a long procedure, such a long process just to get this, Yo, guys, I went through the most getting my driver's license, but you know what, I think it was so worth it. For me, I perfected my driving by testing those 3 times, and the 4th time I tested, I knew what was coming. I knew that, you know, they're gonna do this. I knew that this is what's gonna happen. So I was 100% prepared. So I just want to give you guys some tips on how to pass your driving test. So tip number 1, remain calm. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Remain calm. Remain calm when you get into the car. Remain calm when you're doing your things. If you stall and the car switches off, it's okay. Do the correct procedure. Lift your handbrake up, switch off the car if you need to, put it into neutral and start again. Everyone else can wait because everyone else went through what you went through. So when you test, when you're taking your lessons, remain calm at all times. Take it slow, don't rush yourself, because I think I sort of rushed myself because I really wanted to get my driver's license. So I was always just like, you know what, I'm not getting it, let's do it, let's, you know, and I think it's not supposed to be like that. All right, so keep calm and carry on. See what I did there? So the second tip is to focus on yourself. Focus on what you are doing and focus on what's happening around you that will affect you. So don't focus on that person over there. Oh, there's my friend. Look at my friend. Oh my gosh, that's Mama. No, don't focus. That's not important. Focus on what you have to do inside the car and focus on what's happening around you, because anything can happen. If you're not focusing on what's happening around you, you can get into an accident and it's not going to be cute, and yeah, no, we don't want that. So you need to focus on what's happening around you that will affect you. That is what I mean by focusing on what's happening around you. Okay, and then the third thing is confidence is key. I can't stress this one enough. Be confident in what you're doing, because if you're not confident, you're gonna keep on stalling, you're gonna keep on rolling. Every time you get onto the hill, the car's just gonna roll, or the car's gonna switch off, or you know. So just be confident and know that you know what you're doing and you have gone through everything. So guys, I still to this day like hype myself up when I have to go drive. I have to hype myself up when I get into the car. I'm just like, yes girl, you know what you're doing. Every time I reverse park, I know that okay, yeah, we're gonna do this now. Every time I park, I'm just like, you know, I take it slow, let's go. And if I don't get it right, I will reverse out and I will park in again. So I have to always just hype myself up. If that's what you need to do to get your confidence up, then do it. Do it. Do whatever it takes to get you to a point where you are confident in getting into a car and being okay with driving. All right, that is one of the most important things, because if you're not confident, you're gonna make mistakes, and then you're gonna feel like, I don't know anything, so I'm giving up now. I don't know anything, I'm just gonna give up because yeah, the car just switched off. Those are some 3 of the main tips. I know they all like this with each other, those 3 tips. So focus on yourself, remain calm, and confidence. Those are the 3 tips that will definitely help you in getting your driver's license. And then the next ones that I want to say is that get a good driving school. Go to a good driving school. And by good, I don't mean, yeah, I heard No, you must have seen or heard someone that you know that has passed with them. You know, they need to have a good reputation. They need to like almost have 100% pass rate with them, you know. I think that is most important, because then that means that the people that are instructing you are qualified to do the job. They know how to handle all kinds of learner drivers, you know, so that is important. So you don't want an instructor that is going to be very, you know, impatient with you and just rushing you to go through the process. I was a slow learner when I first started out with my driving lessons, so my instructors were very patient with me. You want a company that has instructors that are patient, not one that's going to be like, why aren't you getting it? No, didn't I just tell you how to do it? Why are you getting it wrong? No, you don't want that, because that just like decreases your confidence levels to like -100. And the second thing is that, and it shouldn't matter, but where you test also is quite important. It really shouldn't matter, but it's how we live in, it's the world that we live in. It's a factor that plays a huge role in you getting your driver's license. So you want to test in a place where you know people have passed. So you personally know people that have passed at the testing center that you want to go to. So make sure you also speak to your instructor, because they know the different testing centers and what's difficult in each testing center. So they will obviously have to guide you into booking at a testing center that is almost suited to you, if that makes sense. So almost like, okay, your weakness is the steep, so at this testing center the steep is not as steep, it's just a little bit, you know, so you will be able to pass, type of thing. So if you don't have like many testing centers around you, and you just have the one because maybe you have a small town, or just because there's only one in your area, then go to that one. I'm not discouraging you from going to the one that's closest to you, but I just want to say that you need to keep in mind that these testing centers, I don't know, there's some dodgy things that happen, but we're not going to get into that now. So you want to make sure that the place that you're going to test at is one that's going to benefit you the most. So yeah, and just, you know, make sure that you are confident, you're always prepared for your lessons, and ask questions. When you make a mistake, make sure that you are able to rectify that mistake. And yes, here's to getting our driver's license in 2020. You are gonna get it. Alright guys, so we've reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continuous support. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And yes, until the next video.